Isolated for more than 80 million years, this island harbours unique life found nowhere else on Earth. And I want to share with you the incredible species I encountered while exploring it. This is Madagascar. It's nighttime in Ranomafana, and a different array of creatures emerge from their daytime retreats. The first we see is this Madagascar bright-eyed frog, or Buphus madagascarensis, which is one of the larger members of the Buphus genus, and is widespread along eastern Madagascar in tropical forests. It appears to be a male with an especially vibrant sky blue underside. I begin to notice small animals hugging tightly to the branches and leaves. They are resting chameleons, which are usually active in daylight. This one is known as the deceptive chameleon, or Caluma phallax, due to its extreme similarity to a different species called Caluma narsutum. What was known as Caluma narsutum has now been split into different species, which were hiding in plain sight from scientists due to their similarity to one another. Many of them can only be differentiated by genetic analysis, skull structure, and distribution. In 2020, researchers found that Caluma phallax and Caluma narsutum are separated by distribution, and that Caluma phallax is the main species from this complex occurring in Ranomafana. However, there's likely many more species to discover in this way, and this could perhaps change again in future. There's around 100 chameleon species described in Madagascar, and the list continues to grow. The males of Caluma phallax have a distinct head casque, and both genders have a soft nose appendage. The purpose of this appendage is unclear, but perhaps it aids with camouflage amongst the leaves. We soon find multiple perinate chameleons, or Caluma gastrotania. The species name gastrotania translates roughly to belly band from Latin, referring to the stripe on the flanks of the males, which is only faintly visible in the females. This elongate leaf chameleon, or Paleon narzus, is a speciality of Madagascar's southeastern rainforests. This is a species which can be difficult to find, so I was very happy to see one with the help of local expertise. It used to be in the Brucasia genus, but in 2013 it was moved to the Paleon genus. George Albert Boulanger, a 19th to 20th century zoologist, gave it the species name narzus, referring to its pointed nose, and taxonomic research has shown that it's one of the most primitive chameleon species alive today. A blue-legged chameleon, or Caluma crypticum, sleeps on a higher branch and shows how it got its name. Interestingly, the blue colour of the legs fades quite quickly in the torchlight. This is a male, and a female sleeps nearby too. Suddenly, an erratic, tiny ball of fur catches the eye. It's a rufous mouse lemur. Weighing up to just 48 grams, it's one of the smallest primates in the world, and swiftly climbs through the foliage at night, hunting insects, and perhaps even some of the small chameleons we've seen. They also feed on a wide variety of fruit and nectar. It makes a brief appearance before scampering deeper into the forest. And then, hidden in the shadows is a sleeping marvel of nature which has been high on my wish list while exploring Ranomafana. So we've just been searching the forest at night in Ranomafana, and we've come across sleeping chameleons, including one of the largest in the area, O'Shaughnessy's chameleon. Look at him. O'Shaughnessy's chameleon, one of the larger and most spectacular chameleons in all of Madagascar. This is a magnificent male, showing two characteristic large nose appendages and ashy grey colour on the head and shoulders. His colour differs on either side of his body in response to the torchlight. And I notice he's keeping an eye on me. This species is named in honour of Arthur O'Shaughnessy, a herpetologist who worked at the British Museum during the 19th century from the age of 19 and described several reptile species. He only lived until 36, and after his death, two famous early herpetologists, Albert Gunther and George Albert Boulanger, named a few species in honour of O'Shaughnessy, including this one. Closely related to the massive Parsons chameleon, which is one of the largest of all chameleons, O'Shaughnessy's chameleon is also a rather large species, potentially attaining a total length of 40 centimeters. Once this big boy realizes I'm not a threat, he goes back to sleep and I leave him in peace. It's without doubt one of the most impressive reptiles I've seen in its natural habitat. Shortly after, we find a female who is lacking the nose appendages, and a younger male high up in the vegetation. How chameleons choose their sleeping positions is not fully understood, but it's likely influenced by a balance between predator avoidance and maximum sunshine in the morning to bask in. Chameleons often choose to sleep on the end of thin, lightweight branches, which predators find difficult to maneuver on. This means the chameleon is quickly alerted to the presence of a predator and can make an escape or defend itself. Alternatively, a predator may just decide the tricky position of its prey is not worth the hassle and will move on. While eating breakfast, prolonged rays of sunshine break through the clouds and reptiles of jaw-dropping beauty begin to assemble on artificial structures on the forest edge. They are peacock day geckos. These colourful lizards are in the Phelsuma genus, which contains an expanding list of around 70 species, most of which only occur in Madagascar. Various day gecko species are an example of how some species can adapt to humanity in Madagascar, as some of them love artificial environments and even dwell inside buildings. A key feature in identifying this species is the black circle behind each front leg, which is usually surrounded by an electric blue halo. Depending on the locality, there can be 2 or more black circles. One of the few non-endemic species in Madagascar lurks nearby too. It's an intricate kite spider, Gasteracantha versicolor. Its formidable-looking spines are thought to be an adaptation that makes it harder for predators to eat it, but the function of the spines is not fully understood. There are many Gasterocanthus species occurring in tropical regions of the world, and most of them have their own unique spine arrangement. It also occurs on mainland Africa and nearby islands, and spends much of its time waiting in its web for insects to fly into its trap. After admiring this amazing spider, I prepare for an adventure into the habitat of another 8-legged relative.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a base camp like.
Today we're exploring a river in Ranomafana, where I know there's a chance of seeing a special arachnid. I'm excited to quickly spot one hanging over the wet rocks, and I then realise I'm surrounded by them. It's Darwin's bark spider, and the reason it's special is because it makes one of the largest orb webs in the world. The bridge line of the web spans up to 25 meters across an entire river. Its silk is also considered to be one of the toughest biological materials on the planet, several times tougher than Kevlar at the same size and density. Due to the position of their webs, they tend to catch a lot of aquatic insects such as Ephemeroptera or mayflies as they emerge from their aquatic larval form, which can be seen in this image. It's difficult to capture the sheer size of the webs on camera in these overcast conditions, but this scene will live long in my memory. This habitat is also home to a striking member of Madagascar's staggering amphibian diversity, and an animal I'm really hoping to see. Within minutes, I'm ecstatic when one of our local guides finds one hopping around the rocks. This is Barron's mantella, or Mantella baroni. It has evolved in a similar way to the dart frogs of Central and South America by sequestering toxins from the invertebrates it eats. Like the dart frogs, it lives in rainforests and warns predators of its poison through vibrant colours, an adaptation known as aposematism. This is a fine example of convergent evolution, where distantly or non-related species evolve similar traits to fill a similar niche in an ecosystem. Unfortunately, I didn't spend too much time with this frog, as it was being roughly handled by the local guides. Despite trying to politely communicate this, my message wasn't getting across, probably due to the language barrier. I hate to think how often this might be happening here, but I think it can be resolved by training local guides how to handle these animals more respectfully. Nonetheless, seeing this striking frog in its habitat is an incredible experience, and it hopped away with no problems. It's time to head back and explore the roadside vegetation. These areas are loved by some species due to greater sun exposure, warmer temperatures, and a different assemblage of plants. We managed to get a good view of a vassa, a large black parrot which is often seen in Madagascar. It appears to be a greater vassa, which is more common than the lesser vassa. A chattering song coming from a bright red patch in the trees draws our attention to a bird known as a foodie. Given the habitat and the lack of red on the back and underside, it could be a forest foodie. However, this individual appears to be molting, where the distinction in colour can be less reliable. Also, the call seems to match red foodie more closely. Ground-dwelling lizards in the Zonosaurus genus make the most of the warm sun traps as well, including this ornate girdled lizard, Zonosaurus ornatus. Nearly all Zonosaurus lizards are endemic to Madagascar, with 17 described species currently. And then, a small creature with one of the oddest outlines in the animal kingdom emerges from the foliage. It's among Madagascar's most iconic animals.
Another unique inhabitant of Madagascar's forests is an interesting insect. One of the most bizarre beetles you could hope to see. This is a giraffe weevil. They appear to have a long neck, which is actually an elongated thorax and head. And this is a female. The male actually has a much longer neck. Isn't she wonderful? This is one of the most iconic insects in Madagascar. You see street art and paintings and photographs of it all over the place. And it's something that entomologists travel far and wide to see. And to have it on my thumb right now is quite a privilege.
Rival males joust and wrestle one another with their long necks to establish dominance and the right to mate with the females. These battles are closely watched by the female, who is poised to accept the winner as the father to her offspring. She then uses her powerful legs to fold the leaves of the giraffe weevil's preferred food plant, Dichetanthera cordifolia, or sometimes other Dichetanthera species, to create a safe nest in which she lays a single egg. Once the nest is complete, the female snips it from the plant so it falls to the forest floor. The egg will then hatch, and the larva feeds on its leafy house until it develops into an adult beetle. These remarkable insects only live in the eastern rainforests of Madagascar, and seeing them in nature has always been on my wish list as an insect lover. Two months after visiting Ranomafana, a devastating fire broke out in the national park, destroying 122 hectares of precious forest. It was likely started by the common slash-and-burn farming method on the edge of the protected area, but this was the first time a fire has occurred in the park's boundaries. December and January fall within Ranomafana's wet season, but it failed to rain in either of these months, which is very unusual. This is likely a result of climate change. With the sun beating down, no rainfall and strong winds, the vegetation became unusually dry and the forest turned into a tinderbox. This meant fires from outside the park could spread more easily within the boundaries of the protected area. Ranomafana was perhaps the wettest place I visited in Madagascar, so it's unimaginable that a fire like this could break out here, damaging an ecosystem which is found nowhere else on Earth, and is home to critically endangered species which can only exist here. With so little native forest left in Madagascar, fires like this are detrimental with lasting or irreversible effects. Next time, we explore a small nature reserve which is cared for by the local community.